Coming up on Spotlight this week, we speak to Bafta-nominated actress Niamh Algar. We have fashion with Pamela Scott, and Sweeney Hair Design is back with Simon's Salon Secrets.
Spotlight in association with Space 2. Sponsored by GLAM, bringing Hollywood home.
You're very welcome to Spotlight, coming to you from the Gaiety Theatre, brought to you by GLAM, bringing Hollywood home. Well, in this episode, we talk to the IFTA-winning and Bafta-nominated actress Niamh Algar from Cam with Horses about her recent award success and her new disturbing horror film, Censor.
I thought I knew what this story was, and then the last 15 minutes just kind of blew my mind.
We cross over to Miami, where divine living expert Gina DeVee tells us about prioritising the pleasures of life. In fashion, from Pamela Scott, we have gorgeous autumn trends to suit any shape and occasion with stylist Aoife Carty. And we're back with Sweeney Hair Designs from Kildare. Simon will be on stage here at the Gaiety, divulging his Simon Salon Secrets. All that, and we go behind the scenes with Jake Gyllenhaal and his new ad campaign for Prada, which has just dropped. Spotlight gives you the first look. IFTA winner and Bafta-nominated Niamh Algar is a rising star, having wowed audiences with a mesmerising performance in Cam with Horses opposite Barry Keoghan. Niamh has set the screen alight yet again with another stellar performance in the disturbing horror movie Censor. Now, before we speak to Niamh, here's a taste of what to expect.
This depiction is dangerous.
Come on, Enid.
I'm cutting it.
Butchery, sadism, murder.
A wave of depraved and corrupt horror video.
Confusing fiction with reality.
And that's a little bit from the movie Censor, which is a nod to David Lynch. And joining me now is the star of the film, Niamh Algar. Niamh, lovely to see you. Now, can you give people who liked what they just saw there in the clip a deeper insight of what your character is like in Censor?
First of all, I just want to say thanks so much for those amazing film references. I love it. I love it. Okay, so I play Enid Baines, who is a film censor in the 1980s Thatcher's Britain. And it's her job to cut explicit content that she feels is too graphic for public consumption. And Enid has this trauma, this childhood trauma that is eating away from her. And she sees this film that causes her to go down this rabbit hole of discovering what happened to her sister when she was a child. And it's essentially the journey of what that character goes on.
Brilliant, Niamh. Now, can you tell me how it all came about? Did the script get you through your agent, or did you kind of get a tip off from the director, Prano Bailey Bond?
Yeah, so it was more so the casting landed, and I saw Prano Bailey Bond's name attached, and I was like, God, how the heck do I know that name? And so basically back in 2018, I think it was 2018, yes, myself and Prano were named as Screen International's Stars of Tomorrow, and we ended up meeting each other then and there, and we were sat at this dinner table chatting, and she was talking about, I think I was just talking about Cam with Horses that I was about to go shoot, and she was talking about this script that she had called Censor. And so the casting came in, and I put myself on tape, and then eventually was in the room with her and auditioned a few times, and then landed the role. And I love your references to David Lynch, but I feel like having been a massive fan of David Lynch, you know, that you watch a movie and you can tell what movie is his. And I feel like with Prano, she's very much put her own stamp on her style. And this is like, I want to say it's like a Prano Bailey Bond film that we're going to see this new wave of filmmaker.
Oh yeah, Niamh, I think there's some seriously strong horror filmmakers coming down the line. But let's talk about actors' prep for a minute. How much homework had to be done before shooting the movie?
Yeah, it was it's such a meaty role. Like when you read it, there's so much, as you said, there's like so much going on with this character, but also it was a territory, like video nasties was before my time. So I was like, I heard the term video nasties, but didn't understand what it meant. And so that in itself, I had to educate myself on. And the role of a censor, you just kind of think it's a governing body. It's just a building that decides the certification of a film. But you have to remember, oh no, these are actually people that sit in a room all day and watch movies and decide what should be cut out of a film because they feel like that should not be seen by the public, and deciding why not. But like along with that, you have the psychological journey that the character goes on, and it was researching childhood trauma and how that would have such a profound effect on an adult, and how if you had witnessed something as a kid, could you potentially erase that from your memory in order to, I suppose, get move on and survive. And the idea that this character is so terrified of kind of opening that Pandora's box, because are they too scared to look inside it, because are they responsible for it, or do they have a hand in it, or maybe they're not going to find that answer. And there's so much that this character is concealing, and we're on the journey with her from beginning to end, and where she ends and where she finishes it's just two they're almost like two different people. So to be given an opportunity to play that is so exciting.
Oh, absolutely, because there's such a huge appetite for horror, and I'm sure it's definitely going to travel. Now, Niamh, what do you hope cinema goers will get from Censor?
I love audiences when they go into something and they have an expectation of what they think it's going to be, and they come out and it's something completely different. And what I found when I first read the script is that I thought I knew what this story was, and then the last 15 minutes just kind of blew my mind. And it leaves you really thinking, atmospherically, it leaves you really thinking about it at the end.
Niamh, you are gaining massive momentum, and we are so delighted for you on Spotlight with incredible success of late. Bafta nominations, IFTA wins. Has all the success been surreal? And most importantly, have you even had a chance to enjoy it all?
I'm so lucky that I've gotten to this point, but it didn't happen overnight, and I worked really hard to get to a situation where I could be working consistently. And I've just been really lucky that the people that I'm working with are like Prano, where they're at the start of their careers, and to be on a journey with them is really exciting. But yeah, I'm just very lucky. I'm really, really lucky.
All of us here on Spotlight are truly delighted for you, Niamh, and long may it continue. I urge all of our viewers to check out this chilling new horror, Censor, which is in cinemas now.
People think that I create horror. Horror is already out there in all of us.
Spotlight is on fashion now with Pamela Scott, who have some gorgeous, versatile autumn-winter looks to suit your shape and your budget. And stylist Aoife Carty is on hand to talk us through 3 stylish looks. Lovely having you back at the Gaiety.
Thank you. It's lovely to see you again. I'm delighted to be back.
And you know what? You gave me such inspiration in episode 1. I had to go out and get the kimono that was on you, Miko. I just thought it was great. Really edgy kind of looks for Pamela Scott at the moment.
Yeah, it is. Actually, they've gone a bit different this season with their autumn-winter styles. They're kind of more on trend, more young, I think, which is really cool.
Of course, and they're a family brand as well, so, and stores nationwide. Now, you've got a rock star look for us coming up. Yes. What's this one?
So our first look on Miko is this gorgeous look. So it's kind of a little bit like rock star, rock chick look. So we've gone for faux leather biker leggings. So they've got some lovely patterns on the legs. These are like kind of similar to the Spanx leggings, but they're like actually quarter the price, which is really good. So it's affordable and they're great quality. So I've paired this with like a super soft cream, like turtleneck knit. I think this is gorgeous. It's actually a bodysuit. I think this is really flattering on the waist. And then I've put this with a little jacket for, you know, coming into the colder months. A little jacket is handy to throw on and off.
Absolutely, and of course the weather is of course quite cold now, but what I think is lovely is that this is kind of a comforting jacket. You could kind of have this on if you were going to the cinema or you're meeting the girls for drinks or whatever.
Yeah, true. I think it's kind of like cool, casual look there. So I thought colleges are back open, so if you're going to college, this could be a perfect look for you. And I've just paired it with some lace-up boots, which I think are kind of cool.
Back in my day, Aoife would call them bother boots, and I think they're really cool. And I think with festivals and music gigs coming open, you know, this is a really kind of sexy look.
Yeah, it is. I think as well, if you want to get rid of that jacket, I think you could kind of dress it up and you have your boots, your leather leggings, and I think you look the part.
Even do double leather and put a leather jacket on. Okay, let's move on to look number 2. Now, you actually have this dress on in a different colour.
I know, I'm obsessed with this dress. I just think it's so pretty. So I've gone for this dress in kind of like a teal colour on your Miko. I think it's gorgeous. You have that beautiful V-neck, and then you have the buttons here on the waist, which I think is just gorgeous.
It's extremely flattering, and again, as we always speak about, say you have a larger bust or smaller bust, you know, it really can shape you in the right way.
Yeah, definitely, especially on the waist. I think it's really flattering, and it's kind of like a light material, so it's nice. So I've kind of paired it with a leather jacket. You know, it's getting a bit colder, so if you want a little leather, and a leather jacket goes with so much, like you can put that with everything in your wardrobe, with jeans, anything for a night out.
I've even seen people wear them with wedding dresses. So there you go. Leather jackets are a must in my wardrobe, an absolute statement. But in terms of this dress, I mean, the length is quite good.
Yeah, it is good, but I suppose it is getting a bit short for coming into winter, so I've put tights with it. They're only €5, which I think is amazing, like for the quality, because you know tights rip so often, but like these are really good quality, and €5 is amazing.
And of course, in terms of the dress sizing, I mean, we go from an 8 to 22, so you know, there's plenty of room for everyone, shapes and sizes there.
Yeah, Pamela Scott are really inclusive with the size range. I was really impressed by that. Size 8 to 22 is, I think that's really good. You can get a dress size for everyone.
Okay, and boots-wise?
Boots-wise, I put little studded boots with these ones. I think it kind of just dresses it up, because I thought you could wear this out to like any event or dinner or something if you wanted, or to work actually.
Yeah, no, absolutely. I love those studded boots. They're absolutely fab. And of course, for look number 3 then, this is a little bit more formal.
Yeah, I love this dress. I think this dress is beautiful. So this dress is a lovely little wrap dress. So it's kind of got that collar shirt detail, and then it comes into the side and wraps in a lovely kind of tie detail.
It kind of harkens back to Diane von Furstenberg. You know, she's very famous for her wrap dresses. So.
True, it does actually. And I've seen this dress kind of coming in like different styles, different colours in summer. And then I think the navy and the creams really suit kind of autumn winter coming into Christmas look. Indeed. I really like this, and it's a dress that I think I would wear, but I think my mum also would love to wear. Like I think
so it works for
all ages.
All ages, indeed. And I think Pamela Scott do that, don't they? They kind of have a really kind of younger rock edge, and then they also have the more formal wear.
Yeah, definitely. They've got everything. Anything you're looking for, they definitely have it. So definitely check online. And then I've just put these with some little heels. They're actually great height. They're not too high, not too small. Yeah, I love them. So they're actually good as well, $39.99, which is quite a bargain.
And great price points, of course, all of the 3 looks that you showcased today.
Yeah, true. They're all really good price-wise, very affordable and really good quality.
Okay, so if anyone wants to pick up any of the pieces shown today, where do they head to?
To pamscott.com.
Okay,
that's where to find it.
Fantastic. Online stores nationwide. Aoife, thank you so much for joining us on season 2 of Spotlight, and we will see you again very soon.
I'll see you then.
Jake Gyllenhaal has moved away from movies for just a beat to star in his very own advert for Prada's latest perfume, Luna Rossa. He shot the campaign on a stunning yacht with some very moody lighting. And Spotlight now takes you behind the scenes to see how Jake and its Emmy-winning director, Johan Renck, famous for his work on HBO's Chernobyl, enjoyed the process of working on a high-fashion brand.
When it comes to these kind of iconic, you know, tremendously talented people like Jake Gyllenhaal is, and in this particular case, you know, I was facing a very thoughtful, deep, profound, thinking person with a very deep soul, I felt, you know, and it was a tremendously good experience with Jake.
In the middle of everything that is going on in the world, I think to be in a space with a group of people again, to me that's the wonderful thing. It's memorable to be able to come here and be safe and work with a group of people, and I will not forget that ever. Luna Rosa Ocean, the new fragrance by Prada.
The spotlight now turns to hair with Simon, Sweeney Hair Designs from Monasterevin in Kildare. Simon is here today to take us through the products to achieve Dua Lipa's Vanity Fair cover. And we're going to get some of Simon's salon secrets too. Simon, welcome back.
Thank you for having me again.
The glorious Gaiety stage
amazing.
is yours. Now, of course, we saw you a couple episodes ago talking about this big bouncy blow dry, and hopefully people at home have been able to do it since then. But now we're one level up this time.
Yeah, we're talking volume. Ooh. It's all about volume. We're bringing back that 90s hair. 90s hair is so big right now. As you've seen in Dua Lipa's Vanity Fair cover, it's all about the volume. You have that bouncy blow dry. People are going middle partings, but now we're going back and we're going to switch it over to the side part.
Well, now you forget, because I'm so old, that I was a 90s child. And of course, when I think of the 90s blow dry, I think of Cindy Crawford in the kind of Pepsi adverts. Yeah.
The 4 products I'm going to show you today is all showing you how to get that volume at home yourself. And we've gone old school. We've gone back to the Velcro rollers.
Oh, goody.
We love the rollers.
Indeed. Now, of course, you've got some really great hero products. What are we kicking off with?
So we prepped her hair with anti-gravity spray. This is a weightless spray. I sprayed this on her hair before we blow dried it. So this is going to give us volume onto those roots without actually weighing it down, because a lot of other sprays might give you grit, and you don't want that. You want to keep it weightless because it's all about movement when it comes to volume.
And some people might say that the 90s big voluminous blow dry, I think, is kind of aging, but actually I think now that it's back, it's great, because I think it's quite youthful.
Yeah, absolutely. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to pop out these rollers, and I'm going to show you my next amazing tool. So I'm going to pop out these big and voluptuous. As you can see, we're getting our big bouncy curls. So I'm going to pop them there. So when I pop these out, I'm just going to show you what I've done with my next tool. So I'm going to use the Hot Tools heated curl bar.
This is your next secret.
This is my next secret. So people see this and they're like, what the hell is that? Is it a gun? But no.
Is it a glue gun? What is it? Yeah.
So straighteners, amazing. This is incredible because you can do this yourself. You can switch it around. It basically is ambidextrous. You could use it both ways, and you just pop it in and you can get your weightless curls. Volume you can follow, and it basically falls the way you turn the hair. It's incredible. So we're going to leave it for, it actually has an amazing tool where you just pop that little button, and after 10 seconds it vibrates and it tells you now's the time to take it off.
Oh wow.
It's absolutely incredible because most straighteners don't have that. Most straighteners are going to give you that real sleek look, which now you want a volume. So now it's after vibrating, so we're going to leave it, and there's the big volume curl.
Very Sesame Street. Anyone can follow that. We like that. Good.
So I'm going to pop out the rest of these rollers. As I said, I went old school for rollers because it's 90s. There's no point going in and doing pin curls and stuff, and I want to show you how you can get that volume on top, and that's where my next product comes in.
Okay, great. Now, again, when we talk about 90s, because it's so in at the moment, those big bouncy curls, but they're very sexy too when they're
so
done right.
sexy, and like this movement, that's what you want. You want the movement. You don't want to look set. You want to look like you're just after. You can move your hair and it's going to fall wherever you want it to fall.
Indeed.
So I'm going to pop up the last one, and what I want to show you here is my next product. So when we talk about back home and people are like, please don't back comb my hair, I won't be able to get it out.
I love it. I love back comb.
I'm going to do a little bit of back combing on the roots, and we're going to
just show us how it's done there.
So you start at the bottom, and we're going to bring it right up, just a small bit. But this is where my next product. This is called powder puff. So this is a powder. Some people, when they use back combing, they use a spray, and the spray gets sticky. And so with the powder puff, basically, you're just going to directly onto the roots, and the powder is going to dry out those roots, and it's going to keep that volume that you want. And that's what's incredible. You could use this without actually even back combing. It gives that gorgeous volume without, and it just, it dries out the roots. It actually makes the blow dry last quite well because it doesn't go greasy.
It's almost like a dry shampoo meets a spray or a grit.
Exactly. So what we're going to do is now there are my main products.
Okay. Now hang on, wait. Don't you always have 4?
Yes. So the trick is today we've actually put clip-in extensions into Aoife's hair.
You sneaky hound.
The thing is with people's hair nowadays is they are highlighting their hair. Their hair is not as volume as it would normally be.
Let's have a look at those extensions. They're perfect.
So as you can see, you've got that gorgeous bounce and length and volume, and it's completely natural.
So these are all clip-in extensions?
They're all clip-in extensions. Aoife's hair sits about here, and Aoife has loads of hair, but it's a little bit finer than normal. You wouldn't get that volume, so you get that nice, gorgeous volume
Indeed. And I think as well, Simon, what's great is about clip-in extensions is that they're not going to ruin your hair.
No,
you know, they're not.
No. And with the thing is with
Needed
clip-ins are amazing now. You can, like the ones I'm using today are from Bell Hair Extensions. They're an Irish company. They're from Galway. I'm their educator, so I love anything to do with Bell Hair.
Great.
But yeah, incredible.
Glamour clip-in. So there you have it, Simon. They are your 4 salon secrets. I love them. This is the 90s blow dry to emulate Dua Lipa on the cover of Vanity Fair. Simon, thank you so much for joining us on the Gaiety stage. It couldn't be any more glorious. And of course, we'll catch you again soon.
See you again.
Thank you. Forbes has cited her as having one of the top lifestyle podcasts in the United States. She's a wellness guru, an expert, and a best-selling author. It's Gina DeVee who joined me from Miami earlier in the week.
Gina, welcome back. How are you?
Oh, Lisa, it's so good to be on Spotlight again. Thanks for having me back.
It is a pleasure. And of course, last time we were talking about dropping the drama. Today, it's about prioritizing the pleasures in your life. Tell us more.
I just see our Western culture has gotten literally addicted to being busy. And I think busy is boring. We've prioritized being productive and working all the time and just always doing, going, but not really paying attention to what's important to you. Like, what do you actually really care about? We've been so inundated with what we've been taught we should care about. And I think that after we've all been through this pandemic, it's time for us to reassess and reprioritize what actually matters in our life.
Now, pleasures to me would be things like spending time with friends, holidays or food, drink, some people will prioritize exercise as a pleasure. For me, that's a fat one. But, there is many moons of pleasures people can have. So what kind of is the top 5 pleasures people love and adore?
Yes. Well, I think that for most of us, it really does come down to relationships. And, for us to think that we couldn't see people that we love and care about for such a long period of time, I know that I personally am really reprioritizing my entire sense of community, making sure that it's not when there's enough time or money left over that's what I'm doing, but really, seeking out girlfriends to do girl trips with and spending time with my husband in a way that I'm just much more present when I'm with him. So I think that relationships is definitely one of the top ones. Travel, as everyone's just really getting that travel bug. To, whether it's just like a road trip or one of the larger trips, travel is definitely. And then also just having time and space for you and your thoughts. Like we think that we've always got to be like on our phone or on a device or doing something. And I know I've just taken more time for self-care, reflecting, and even being able to hear myself think. So that's another pleasure. And then, like you talked about, like just having time with a beautiful cappuccino and, noticing the sunshine or actually going out in nature and just like, feeling the grass underneath your feet, the actual pleasures of human life is what we get to reprioritize post-pandemic.
But why do so many of us put ourselves last or feel ashamed to prioritize ourselves?
It's interesting that you asked this because I wrote about it in my book. Do you know the statistics are that only 1 in 100 people even know what they want? It's like we're that disconnected from even knowing what we desire for ourselves, for life, for our destiny. And so I think that when we stop and take this time for ourselves, then we can actually tune in and start to realize that it's not selfish to set a boundary or say no or to prioritize time alone. And when you really have that sense of self, then you end up being that much more generous and you can give so much more.
Do you know, it was very interesting what you mentioned there, saying no. That's a huge question. Let's just, talk about that for 2 seconds. As mentioned, there's family members, even of my own, there's friends who can't say no, won't say no, feel bad for saying no because they want to obviously please people or people please. What is the value of saying no and prioritizing yourself?
You'll raise your standards. Every time you let your yes be yes and your no be no, you literally raise the standards for your life. You train people how to treat you. And so if you're going to be lost and invisible to yourself, you're going to be lost and invisible to other people too, because they're not going to know what your truth is, and they're going to think that you mean something that you don't actually. It's how resentments build up, and people never really get to where they're meant to be going when they're always people pleasing. You have to be true to yourself first, and then from that truth, you can be the most generous.
So no is actually a good thing. It's positive to be no.
It's necessary. It's necessary.
This isn't going to happen overnight, because we're not just built to say no to people and prioritize ourselves. Sometimes it feels a little bit unnatural. So what little tips and tricks would you say to people who are watching today who really do feel that they need to prioritize themselves, prioritize those pleasures, whether it's time with a spouse, time with their children, or just time alone in a bathtub with bubbles and Michael Bublé, on a stereo? What way would you tell them to inch forward in the right direction?
Yes. Well, first I would say be very compassionate with yourself, because it's always awkward before it's elegant. You might kind of flub your words or be a little harsh or even go invisible and not actually say what you mean. So if it's gotten a little awkward, you can always do a U-turn. You can always go to someone and say, you know what? I know I just said yes to watching your kids, but actually it's not really good for me to do that right now. So I need to change my mind. Anytime you go and do a U-turn, explain where you're at and say, you have a right to change your mind. That's not illegal. It's actually being honest and truthful.
Okay, Gina, that's fantastic advice. You have me inspired already. I've like 5 people I'm going to say no to today. Thank you so much, as always, joining us from Miami. Your book is available as well, so everybody can get that in every bookstore nationwide online.
Thanks so much for having me, Lisa.
Gina, as always, a pleasure, and we'll see you soon.
And that's a wrap for another edition of Spotlight. Next week, we have a very special episode as we talk exclusively in Space 2 to pop star and mum of 2, Michelle Heaton. We have a lengthy chat with the Liberty X star, who opens up about her alcohol and drug use. Here's a little bit of what to expect.
There wasn't a specific catalyst or a reason or a funeral, a death, a celebration. It wasn't anything like that. Just I lost my way into being an addict, and it became greater than me. So I was powerless to it, and I was very ill to the point where I was hospitalised twice.
More from Michelle on next week's show. For now, though, I'm going to leave you with a snippet from the upcoming Venom sequel starring Tom Hardy, which hits cinemas on October 18th. From all of us here in the Gaiety Theatre on Spotlight, we'll catch you again next week. Take care. Bye-bye.
All I ever wanted in this world is carnage.
Whoa, where you going? That is a red one. You need to come out right now. I will let you eat everybody. Promise. I promise. Oh, yeah.
You feel like home to me. Like family.
Spotlight in association with Space 2. Sponsored by GLAM, bringing Hollywood home.